Welcome to this first look map tour with me, MrSealyp. So here we are on Dat Who Der Ranch by Something on My Shoe 2. This is a first look map tour. I have had a quick scoot around to see what's occurring. This is an interesting map. I quite like this. There's a few things that are different enough to make it really interesting. It follows a kind of set format in a way, and I'll explain why in a minute, but we find ourselves starting at the main farm, which is, let's go to the map screen, right here, just to the right of central. This is the main farm. We'll zoom right in on that, and we are facing south at the moment, so this is the main farm area, and as you can see the map is fairly large. Now, as far as I can make out, I'm thinking based around loosely, I think, Mustang Valley, and I'm not sure, maybe a little bit on American Outback, but Mustang Valley, because along here we've got like an irrigation ditch, which is almost like the one that was on Mustang Valley that ran up and down the map. So I don't know if it's just been rotated through 90 degrees or not, I'm not entirely sure, but anyway, enough of that. There are some good things about this that really stand out to me, which I really like. There is plenty of sell points. Some, oddly enough, when you go around looking at the map, don't appear on the map, which was a bit puzzling to me, but we'll get to that later on. But up the top of the map, I like the fact that all the animals are in one place. That makes life so much easier for feed and all that kind of thing. I like that a lot. The chickens are at a separate place, but because you don't have to do anything with the chickens, that doesn't matter. That's really good. I do like that. The other thing about this map is train. I'm not saying trains. And the thing about this is, when you look at the map initially, you've got the train lines which come around and join, and you've got two running next to each other, two tracks. So immediately you think, right, there's two loops, multiple trains. Not so. There's one train, and this runs in a continual circuit all the way around, which is another nice feature, and it's a long circuit. Some of the map tour is going to be by tractor, some will be by train, which I haven't really done before, but it will get us around the map a lot quicker. I'll stop off at a couple of places to show what's happening. So if we scroll across one, we have got a BGA bunker. What I do like is the fact that Something on My Shoe 2 has gone for tractor manufacturers. David Brown's rail loader liquid manure, and David Brown's rail loader manure. Denton Bakery farm incinerator, that's a nice touch, I'm going to show you that in a minute. John Dee's grains, I'm assuming John Deere. Railroad mill, Sawmill, Town Spinnery, White's grains, and Ferguson grain elevator. So some nice little touches there, but plenty of sell points going on. What I do like is on the farm incinerator, if we scroll across, it shows that we can do manure can be put in there. According to that, wood chips, there's a price for wood chips. There's also a price for grass, hay and straw bales, which can all go into the farm incinerator. I quite like that. That's a pretty nifty idea. Prices aren't too bad actually. They're about average for most kind of maps that come out now. Not silly prices like Lawfolds, although I did like those silly prices, but they're not too strict and too tight, which I found often on the Old Stream farm. They were quite low on that. But anyway, enough, I digress. Let's move on. So we are heading south. We are into the main yard. We've got our seed refill point, fertilizer refill point. I'm going to point east now, and we'll head around kind of the yard this way. We have a nice little reservoir over to the side here. Very nice. Nice textures. Nice ripple on the water. Lovely, like that. And here was where it had initially one of the question marks. This is your fountain water refill point from here. We've got a lot of nice big barn space. I mean, very big barn space, and these are the ones I like that you can drive through, so you can bring through vehicles with long trailers and things that are difficult to reverse. You can bring them through. A very nice touch. Do like that a lot. Fuel over to the right hand side here. And the left hand side here, we've got our tool shed, tool station, workshop type thing. Although I have noticed on mine, if you can see that now, if I move, they go a bit flickery, the markers on the floor. You can remove those in the menu, but yeah, they just seem to be a little bit flickery. But anyway, that's your workshop. Again, more space for putting equipment and vehicles, and yeah, there's plenty of that on this map. You're not going to be short of space for when the bad weather comes. Now, interestingly, as far as machinery goes on this map, you don't get a lot. Plenty of these, I think, on Sosnovka, these kind of first appeared. They may well have been on FS13. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will tell me, yes, they were. Because I'm often saying this came from such and such a map, and I get absolutely clobbered because they came from another version or whatever they might be. But let's have a quick look at what we actually start with. We have a Case 1455 tractor. We have a 1660 axial flow. We have the Case header. We have a Farm Tech trailer. We've got a cultivator, Salford plough, Great Plains seeder, and fertilizer spreader. I bought the chainsaw because I needed to do something with that. You don't get that. I bought that. But that's it. That's all you get. There is no more. We don't start with 2-3 tractors, multiple bits of equipment. That's all you start with. It's not a huge amount. So, what you notice, I have got 96,000 in the top right hand corner. You do start with 20,000. I've got this set on normal. You start with 20,000. I've added a little bit of money in because I was intending to lease a bit of equipment to take some screenshots, but I didn't need to in the end. But anyway, there we go. So there's the 1660, the Great Plains, and the fertilizer spreader. Only the rear tank, not the front tank as well. This is the farm incinerator, and this is a nice touch. I do like this. It's a clever idea, and something I haven't seen on a console map yet. But anyway, yeah, farm incinerator. Now it shows bales on here, but it does say, because there's prices for it, that you can put wood chip in here and manure. So there you go. I don't know, you know, I assume that's going to work perfectly well, but nice little touch, like that. The plough, the cultivator, the tractor and the trailer. And if we come a bit further around, there is more storage for vehicles, and we'll cut across here. We have got our silos with our unload point just here, and our loading point just here. The capacity for these is 100,000, which is interesting when you think you've got that. Then you've got all of those, and it's 100,000 per crop. And I will just double check that with you. We'll scroll across, and if you go along to storage capacity on the right hand side, it says 100,000. So personally, would I add more silos in? Probably the new chips and forage silo, which is kind of that, but it has 500,000 litre capacity. But anyway, that's by the by. This is what you start with. So that's pretty much the farm. That's the yard. That's everything that's in here. I'm going to whiz back to the tractor. And what I'm going to do now is go out in the tractor, do part of it by tractor, and then we'll do the rest by train. It's a very, very flat map. There are no hills. Well, I say no hills. There are some undulations. Let's just call them that. Not like full-blown hills. What I do like as well, I'm assuming it's Americanized, American-style map. There are lots of water courses, lots of wet land areas on this, which I like. It's a nice touch. It does make it very, very interesting. I am now heading, where do I need to go? North. I do need to go north. Right, let's go out of here. On to... Actually, we'll go this way, because that's the railway line. And we'll come out the top of the farm onto the main road, which runs east-west across pretty much the centre of the map. Field sizes are... They're a range, actually. I mean... We'll have a quick look. I meant to show this as well. Yeah, we've got a whole range. We only start with field 12 though, which is interesting. We start with one field, field 12. Not very much equipment and one field. There are some very long, thin fields. We've got square fields. We've got some rather large fields. 3 and 2, the sort of thing you're going to think, right, that's it. Ploughing those together, that's going to be a massive field. So yeah, there are a lot of options available. Very, very tiny field up in the top corner, field 8. So yeah, real mixture. But then, like I say, water courses around the Sawmill, up along the tracks here, up in the right-hand corner, and down in the bottom right-hand corner. Plenty of water, and obviously the water course running straight across the middle. So let's go left out of here. Over the railway line. And as we come into kind of, well, I suppose the main town area-ish, got a diner to the left-hand side. There are plenty of grass areas as well, and unlike American Outback, the grass areas are green. They're not that brown, sort of dead-looking grass. They are green. And we have got grain stores, grain sell points over another set of railway lines. So off to the left here, and this is what I find interesting. If I come down here to this one, quite clearly it is a grain store and loading point for the train. But if I go into the map here, where I am, there's no name on the map. There's nothing for it. It's here, but there doesn't appear to be anything kind of listed for it, which is peculiar, but it is what it is. So, coming back out and going north, we have got across the crossing. I should really have stopped there. Let's come charging up the hill. I say hill, it's not really a hill, is it? We have got Emerson's Livestock Market, a staple and a firm favourite on those American maps. Plenty of animals waiting around to be auctioned, bought, sold, whatever's going to happen to them. And off to our left hand side we have got one of our sell points. Let's just quickly whiz it out of here. The railway line seems to just run everywhere on this map. It's brilliant. And this one is White's Grains. Now the David Brown's rail loader, that's interesting. We'll get to that in a bit when we get on the train. So White's Grains is just here. We'll head back into the town. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. However, this is probably going to be quite a long first look map tour because there's a lot going on. It's a big map. Some of the train journey I will skip, but we went over the water course. There we go. It's like a canal that runs across the entire map, east to west. Some familiar looking buildings off the left hand side. Good value barbecue, can't beat it. And on our left hand side we have got our store, Morgan's Massive Motors. Lovely. And then we've got Denton Bakery on the left hand side, another sell point, and just after Denton Bakery we've then got the Spinnery just off to our left. Behind Denton Bakery just there we've got an egg sell point as well for all of your egg selling needs. And then finally, as we go across this last bit here, we come to our chickens, which are kind of tucked very neatly and nicely off to our left here. Now pulling in very quickly, the other thing to mention is there are nuggets on this map. There you go, there are nuggets. I had already picked up one, but there you go, I'm on 2 now. So there are nuggets on the map to be found and exploited should you wish to do so. What I'm going to do now is very quickly chuck a left, head south down towards the BGA. I say that and I'm just thinking I've probably taken the wrong turn. No, I'm on the right way. I'm doing okay. I've remembered where I'm going, just about. This is a big BGA. It is rather large. So we're going through here. I think I'm an authorised vehicle. Pretty sure I am. So we've got our slurry pits. We've got our bunker silos, and there are a lot of them. 5 this side. And 5 this side. Shouldn't really have a problem then with with your silage needs. But then what we have got here, and this is what I mean about nice little touches that make it stand out, we have this, the liftable, raisable, lowerable ramp. Now, my only concern is, as this was on the old stream farm, I would imagine you can take a wheel loader up here and tip in, because this doesn't go high enough to back a vehicle up and tip in with a vehicle. So I'm assuming this is just going to be to aid you in tipping in with a wheel loader or whatever you're going to be doing it with. I don't think you're going to be able to back a trailer up and tip from a trailer. It's not high enough, and I dare say, whilst the unload symbol may come up, it will then say that it won't allow you to do it with that particular tool or equipment. And obviously, like slurry tank here, I don't know if this one and that one both do slurry. If they do, then the capacity for slurry will be absolutely huge. So that's the BGA. I'm now going to leave the tractor there and head to the train. So here we are. Let's jump in and we'll zoom out a little bit. Now, as I said, if we look at the map, I'm over to the left of central, so I'm on the western side of the map. I had to think for a second then. Just underneath field 12. And what we're going to do, let's close that, start that up, we'll head off. Now, certain parts of this journey where it actually goes past, okay, that was brilliant, straight through the barriers, very dangerous. Where I go over or past a section I've already done, I'll skip that bit, but the views are amazing. I mean, it looks incredible. Like I say, it's very, very flat, incredibly flat map. Unlike American Outback, you haven't got all those like rocky outcrops and things like that. So let's put the small bit on. I'm going to bung a left around here and go past the grain store, whatever it is that isn't on the map. It's not listed, but as you can see, the things start to open. Right, we're heading north, up past Emerson's, where we were before. Field sizes vary. Let's say plenty of grass fields knocking about, so that won't be an issue for your animals for baling and hay and all that kind of thing. Then we come round and heading out towards, and I will slow down because I do need to stop here. This is the David Brown's, I need to check on the map, my mind's gone blank. Let's just stop here. Let's jump out. Right. So, again, we have got liquid slurry, we've got manure, and we've got this lovely little feature here. Very nice. I think I had one of these on Sosnovka as well. I don't know if when you tip into here, I'm assuming this is just for root crops because it's got the potato stuff underneath there. So I'm assuming it's just root crops. I could be wrong. It would be great if there's an animation when you put a train under here. I don't know if there will be, but fingers crossed there will be. PC there may well be, and on console there may not. I don't know for definite. But this is, I've just zoom in on here. We are at the, no, we're not there. We're here, the David Brown rail loader. So this will be for crops and slurry and manure. If we go into this menu and scroll across one, that's the one where it says at the top, David Brown's rail loader, David Brown's rail loader liquid manure, David Brown's rail loader manure. So you've got sell points for all of those things just here. Let's hop back into the train and we'll head off again. Now we're going to come round past the sawmill, and the sawmill complex is large, very large. You've got wood sell point off to the left over there, and wood chip sell point, which is quite impressive. We've got the big kind of mill pond lake area. There's all these buildings here and another grain storage sell point thing, but it's not, again, it's not marked on the map. It's just part of sawmill. We'll come back to that in a little while. Heading north now on the big loop round. It's like having your own Hornby train set. It's absolutely brilliant. I love this. I did like it on Goldcrest Valley. Shouldn't be going this fast really around here, but Yeah, my son told me off earlier on. You'll derail the train if you do that, Dad. You would in real life. And if you had a Hornby train set, you probably would on that as well. It's like having a massive Hornby train set as well. So we're now going across the top end of the map, the north. And like I say, the field sizes vary. Various different crops in. Contracting is available on these. So if you like me, get a bit hooked on contracting. Although, as I found on Westbridge Hills, some of these maps are very big and the contracting can take a long time. So I will just slow down here. Nice big grass field. Now we are going to get to the animals later on when we come round to the next bit of the train journey. But they're off to the left hand side over there, which we will look at in a little bit more detail. And we are heading south, back down the map again for the next part of the loop. It is glorious, it really is a glorious map. I do like this with the added train on here. It just, yeah, it gives it a whole nother dimension. Lots of sell points, lots of places to load and unload, and some nice features that you can use the train for, which again we'll get back to in a little bit. Past the farm on our left, the main farm, and we come down to like a big, almost like a box really, into the cuttings down here. Very nice. And we'll go around to the right. We're now heading west again. I mean, it is huge. It's a massive map. When you look across the whole thing, you can see right the way across. And when you go around on the train, it takes a long time to get round it. So I'm going to stop talking for a moment. We are now heading across the southern edge of the map. And at the bottom of the map here, I'm going to just double check what we're going past now, because I'm pretty sure some of this stuff is not marked on the map. No, we're at another one. Down the bottom right hand corner, another grain storage facility we've just passed here isn't marked with any name, so I'm not sure what it is, but it's just another, whether it's part of White's Grains, the kind of, whether it's a conglomerate and all of those larger buildings are all part of White's Grains, I'm not entirely sure. So I'm going to stop talking now, because we're going to come back around the bottom of this box as we're coming now, then we're going to head back up past the main farm again, up to the northern part of the map, and we're going to do the outside loop round to the right hand side, which will be indicated with arrows about now. So we are now coming up on the northern section of the map, heading out to the eastern side, and this is where all the animals are. We've got our pigs, we've got our sheep, and we have our cows up here. Just try and grind this to a halt here. And hop out. Right, so I did buy one of each. I thought that would make life a bit easier, so we can see what's happening now. If I just put that back on again. Up to the northern end, we've got plenty more storage, barn space, fuel, plenty of storage all the way along the top of here, plus a bunker silo, obviously silage for feeding the animals, which is going to come in mostly handy for the cows. But over to our right hand side, we're now facing south down the map. We have our sheep, I believe, is on this end. All of these gates are openable and closable. On PC you might get sound on those. There's not on console. I didn't hear. There's no squeak or grind on the gates as you open and close them. But over here on our right hand side we have the sheep pen, sheep enclosure, another nugget, and we have our lonesome sheep here, all on his own, or her own, maybe, don't know. And we've got our water and feed points. Water trough, feed trough. Then as we come across, we've then got our pig enclosure. There should be a pig in here somewhere. Unless he's got away. No, there he is. We have our lonesome pig. And same thing again, we've got our, well, the slurry pit's here for the pigs, what it will be. Feed and water trough just over there. Leaping another fence. This is our cow pasture with our dairy shed, I think, dairy shed. What's interesting about this one is, this is all part of it. This bit here, and it sweeps around the side, comes down here, across this little track and into here. Now I bought one cow, which is here. Happily eating grass. Now I'm assuming when you've got a few, they will either, I'm assuming they're not just going to stay here, they will wander through and come round and into the shed and all the rest of it, because it goes right the way through. But anyway, so feeding area for the cows, and that's your animals. I have to say, oh, I tell you what I did forget, oh, I must point out. So, manure and slurry point for the cows, more storage, and we'll head back over towards the large barn just over here. So the side of it is the wool pallet spawn point, because the sheep are over this side. When the pallets spawn, are they going to spawn just here, this lovely little box here. So our sheep are there, spawn point there for wool pallets. Right, moving swiftly on, there's a lot to cover. Let's get back into the train and off we go again. Like I say, this is going to be a slightly longer than usual first look. There's a lot here, there's a lot to see, great details. I love this. The bridges over all the wetland areas, it's great. It really is a brilliant map. We are going to come round down the eastern side of the map now, and we are going to come past, as you can see the train on the map, should see the train on the map, coming down here. We're going to come past Ferguson grain elevator, just here. More potential derail points, but interesting enough that it keeps the map fresh. It's nice. I like the fact it's twisting, turning. Missed it. Anyway, what I went past, which I meant to point out, either side of the track here, we've got some of these. So if you want to load your trailers up, or your carriages on your train, your grain trailers, you can use it here. Or if you want to load up logs onto here, you've got one either side, which again, nice little touch. I like that. That stands out to me, something a little bit different. I like that a lot. So as far as logging goes, there's not, I mean, there's a lot of trees around here, so I suppose, yeah, it could be a sort of mini logging camp. If you're going to load up your logs onto the train here, you can. So what I'll do now is get back in the train and we'll head back. So the next part of the journey takes us back around past a point that we've already been along, so I will jump to the next section. But again, nice lake areas with the bridges to cross. It's this attention to detail, just it's brilliant. I have travelled right across the southern part of the map where we've been before, and we're going to come back past John D's grains, which is just there on our left. Like I say, there's more storage here, and if you look through past the storage, there's a seed fill point and a fertiliser refill point. interesting that we just had a car drive through us. Anyway, changes in elevation here, rocky outcrop to the side with a raise in elevation. I do like that. I'm back past the BGA on our right hand side, and we're going to head now towards the last point I want to show you. We'll be there momentarily. On the map we are just going past, very slowly, the railroad mill, which is just there, and we're coming up on a very interesting part, back to the sawmill again. And this is quite a tight-end little complex, and the train will go right the way around this. This is the last point I want to show you, and it's brilliant. Like I say, the sawmill there's a lot going on here. We'll sweep round here. Got load and unload point from another grain store. You've got the rickety bridge over here, which kind of joins the two sections together. We're going to come back round and back past the complex. We've got wood chip sell point with another raising and lowering ramp there, and log sell point is just over in one of the buildings over there. But what's really nice, which I really like, is this. There have been the cranes before for loading and unloading, but this unloads into the mill pond, which is absolutely brilliant. So this is the mill pond just here, so you can unload your lumber off the back of the train, straight into the water, just drop it off the crane and it goes into the mill pond. Very, very nice detail. Very nice detail. All in all, a cracking map. Really nice. Enough detail, things that stand out. Big fields, small fields, a whole mixture. This is going to be one of those ones people are going to do multiplayer. I would imagine with the BGA, the size it is, tons and tons of silage harvesting, plenty of grass. If mowing and baling and that kind of thing is your thing, there's plenty of that going on. Not too many hills, so you can get away with some machinery on, you know, certain seeders and things like that wouldn't normally be able to pull them. You'll be able to get away with it on this map. But that is pretty much it. We come back to where we got onto the train. We did the bit we did before in the tractor. I'm going to get away from that because that's clanging in my ears. But that's it. Dat Who Der Ranch by Something on My Shoe 2. Brilliant map, loads of detail, lots going on, enough to keep you occupied. I like the fact all the animals are together. That's a nice touch. Yeah, cracking map. Thoroughly recommend it. Am I going to do a Let's Play on it? I'm not too sure. I don't generally do the big open wide maps. Westbridge Hills was kind of a nod to FS15, and that series is coming to an end, if I'm honest. So I'm not sure. Might do. I'm keeping my eye open. Ballymoon Castle's supposed to be coming, as is obviously the West Coast. We'll see what happens with those. But we'll see. Possibly move on to this one. I don't know. But it's a cracking map. Really do like it. At the moment I'm doing my Let's Play on the Golden Days of Farming, which is another Something on My Shoe 2 map, and I'm loving that map. Loving the Let's Play, loving the map. So another fantastic creation from Something on My Shoe 2. I'm sure you'll enjoy it if you choose to play on it. But that is it from me. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful and informative. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.